Today we're gonna talk some nutrition.
Like what you mean?
We're gonna talk about macronutrients and micronutrients. Just off the top, do you know anything about that?
Other than the research you just put me on most recently, I never knew anything about micro or macronutrients. I have an idea, like macro is large, micro is small. However, I don't know anything past that.
Yeah, but if you know that, you can put it together. You know, nutrients is something that your body needs,
Correct.
and then so micro and macro is just something big that your body needs and something small that your body needs.
Okay.
That's the general terms of it. But the reason why I asked you that is because just like you and just like me before I was educated on it, a lot of us people in our community don't know basic facts of nutrition. This is basically like let's just think of this as like a nutrition, just a basic beginner.
I feel like it's like the foundation to
foundation to nutrition. There we go. That's it. And so a macronutrient are the three main sources of nutrition or nutrients that our body needs, which are carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. So those are the main sources of meals. When you go eat, or whenever, even if you're cooking at home, most of the time, just generally how we've been conditioned, you still put a certain amount of carbs, proteins, fats in your plate. Obviously, give or take, it may be, a little off balance here or there, but for the most part, the way that meals are set up with your entree and you have two sides, I'm speaking like most restaurants or something like that, but you mostly putting each of those elements of the macronutrients into the meal.
So, in a short way of saying, you're saying carbs, proteins, and fats are found in almost everything we digest. Pretty
much your body needs the most of it, and it's going to give you the most energy to get through the day. Carbs are the quickest source of fuel for the body.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So it's macros. Before you work out, you need to eat macros. Before you or after you work out, you need those macros to replenish. That's the whole protein. Protein shake thing comes in the mix. Is replenishing the protein from your workout. You gotta put those macros back into your body.
So you have to put back what you gave up. Basically.
Exactly.
Got you.
Exactly, and you just can't neglect it.
Protein and fats.
Yes, but the worst thing you can do is neglect it. So you can't not eat carbs, proteins, and fats. And fats and proteins and carbs, they don't have to be eaten through meat. You could get these things through plant-based. So some people may think that fats are just something like some fatty piece of meat, but you can actually get healthy fat from coconut oil or avocados.
Aren't there like certain nuts you can eat that has fats in them?
Yep. So it's plenty of other ways that you could get your macros in without having to eat meat if that's your choice.
Like
but
if you're vegan.
If you are a vegan, but if not, you could get your protein from like chicken, carbs. Carbohydrates are sugar. So the definition of a carbohydrate carbohydrates are a group of compounds including sugars, starches, and cellulose, and that's pretty much just another form of sugar.
Okay. What about proteins?
Proteins are what specific is your question on the proteins?
All right, so you just told me the characteristics of a carbohydrate, correct?
Yes.
So what will be the characteristics of protein?
That's a good question. So proteins have amino acids.
Okay.
So your aminos are within your protein range, and you have essential aminos and you have non-essential aminos.
What's the difference?
So essential aminos are the aminos that you have to be eating, you have to eat it because your body doesn't make it. So the non-essential ones is the ones that you don't have to eat as much of because your body is producing it within itself already.
Okay. What would be like an example of an essential amino acid that, like some amino acid that we do need? Or amino acid that you put back into your body or you use, like your go-to.
Let's look it up.
Because I know like
essential amino acids.
I don't like taking like protein shakes or things like that, but I know there's like amino acid. I mean, is it amino acid pills or like amino? There's some kind of like amino type pills out there. I don't know much about them. I've always wondered like why people use them. I saw people use them to like cut their weight as well.
So, well, this says, what is this? It says amino acids are the building blocks of proteins. The B's amino acids are connected together by a string or a bond, which forms a long chain, which forms the protein. So this is getting into the molecular breakdown of a protein.
Okay.
Which they're all are broken down into different compounds. That's pretty much what makes it. So now we're getting more into like the chemistry of it all.
All of it is important.
Yes. So carbohydrates, you got carbon. Carbon is in carbohydrates and hydrogen. So it's these different molecules that are forming them. And then when you so what we were discussing earlier off the air was the different caloric intake per grams. That's pretty much, so you get for carbs and proteins you get 4 calories
per gram. Okay.
And then for fats you get 9 calories per gram. But that really comes down to just the structure of how those molecules are holding together.
Is that so? Do various fats or proteins or carbs like change the calories per gram? Like certain, like maybe there's certain proteins that's probably like 6 calories per gram, or possibly 2 calories per gram.
It's certain ones that you need to eat more of. So yeah, if you're eating on one thing is if you're eating on a plant-based diet, you need to consume more of those foods.
Okay.
So you could get things from like there are greens that you could get certain protein
like
from.
Like kale or something like that?
Yeah, but it's not gonna. You have to eat hella kale. You have to eat hella kale and spinach. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. But you have to eat hell of it to equal what you would get out of a piece of chicken, like a piece of baked chicken.
Got you.
So
that's probably why people be drinking it.
Yeah, pretty much. And so that's pretty much your your proteins, carbs, and your lipids are any class of organic compounds that are fatty acids or their derivatives. So you got I mean it's all acidic, and that's even deeper, and that's something that I even have to do more research on. But when you get on to like the whole topic with like Dr. Sebi and like the alkaline food,
acidic,
yeah,
and the pH levels and things like that.
Yeah, all that stuff is tied into each other to how our organs function and things like that.
What you got for micro?
Your micronutrients is just the opposite of macro. It's just the smaller nutrients. So pretty much micros are vitamins and minerals.
So like the small stuff.
Small stuff, you need it. Your body needs it, but really you need the micros to aid the macros. Like you need your vitamins and minerals to make sure that when you are eating your macros, that is your food is being transported to the right cells. That is it all works together in one system.
So is it like the micronutrients is what like guides or navigates our macronutrients? Per se, it's like what breaks it down or what keeps everything flowing.
Yeah, they definitely go hand in hand. But you gotta you got to have your vitamins, but just like vitamins and minerals, you could take those. But see, you just said you need to take your vitamins, but were you talking about eating vitamins, or were you talking about just taking vitamins?
My mom been on me about taking like the daily vitamin pills.
Yeah.
But I be like, I'm super skeptical on all that. Like I'm that person. Like I'd rather grow it and eat it. That's what makes me feel the most safe. But that's not the most practical in the way times are. So it's like you take this pill, but I don't like taking pills.
I don't like taking pills either, but I do feel like taking vitamins is
necessary. It's like even for your immune system. Which one is like good for our immune systems? Immune system, is it fats or proteins or carbs? Do any one of those support our immune system? That's what I'm asking.
Do any of them support our immune system?
Because you know how carbs give us energy. So like, do proteins improve our immune system? Or is it like fats?
The body's so complex that they could all really be having something to do with it. Off the top, I would say, wait, ask the question again, just so I can know exactly.
So out of carbs, protein, and fats, do any one of those like add to improving our immune system or have anything to do with our immune system?
Yeah, so they all can. So like one thing, carbs will give you energy quickest.
Yeah.
So carbs can just get you moving, which is a part of getting your immune system to function. Fats is very, very important because your brain is made up mostly of fat. So, and your brain is the control center for your whole body, which controls, your immune system in the first place. So, getting your fats is very important. Even like when they talk about like the omega-3s and like the omega-6 and things like that, like there's different types of fats. And there's a difference between healthy fat and unhealthy fat, but it's important to feed that.
I remember being younger and taking like fish oil pills for omega-3s. I was recently saw this thing on YouTube with Kevin Gates, and he said he doesn't take fish oil pill. He take like buckhorn or something like that. You ever heard of that? It's supposed to be like way better than fish oil though.
I don't know. I'll look into it, but I don't really take fish oil because I'm allergic to certain types of fish. So I just feel like already taking a pill and a fish oil pill, it just don't feel that safe to me personally.
Okay.
But I mean, they're the best thing about nutrition, and the reason why I'm trying to provide this information is because there are many different ways to get this done. The
most important thing is just giving the information for someone to do the research.
Yep.
Like, go find out on your own now.
Yep. And that's all it is. So by no means am I sitting here. First of all, I'm not a doctor. I am a health professional. I am a trainer and studying to become a nutrition coach. I have a degree in nutrition, but life is all about forever learning. So I'm not saying I got all the answers, but I'm just trying to spit out what I know so that, whoever else need it could take it and run with it.
Yeah, free game, right?
Free game, just like my shirt. Shout out to GQ. Got my free game shirt on. I'm going to snap a photo for you too, GQ. I didn't forget about you, bruh. We got to get you up on the IG. But definitely supporting. Shout out to GQ.
Yeah, he cool.
So, that's pretty much the basic rundown for knowing what your macros and micros were. So if leaving this room, Mo, do you feel confident knowing just in general what a macronutrient is, what a micronutrient is?
Yeah, I have a better understanding of what a macro and micro is. However, I need to do more research to understand the concepts. Like I'm one of those people who I really got to see everything connect to understand it fully. If I'm missing a piece, I'm like too unsure.
Well, when it comes to the body and anatomy and chemistry and all that, you got to dig deep. So if you are that type of person, you're going to be studying a lot, but just take it one piece at a time because the body is very, very, very complex.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, even that, right? You got, was it like complex carbs and, is it like simple carbs?
Mm-hmm.
You know much about that?
That also goes back to the structure of the carb and how it is broken down and digested.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see the
Yeah,
actual definition.
I've heard about those a lot, but I never looked into it. You have like your complex carbs and then your simple carbs. I don't know if it's simple carbs. It may be.
Complex carbohydrates are made up of sugar molecules that are strung together in long complex chains. So it's the structure of them.
Okay.
Complex carbs are found in foods such as peas, beans, whole grains, and vegetables. Both simple and complex carbohydrates are turned into glucose, which glucose is blood sugar. That's the sugar that flows through your blood, and the body uses it as energy. So it really comes. A lot of these things in nutrition comes down to the molecular breakdown of it. So for those of you who have not studied chemistry, it actually is important in your everyday life. Yeah, I know it's a lot of people that go through school and they hate chemistry and they don't see the benefit of it. But once you look at it from this perspective, everything we are and eat comes back to chemistry. Your body is full of molecules and everything is a little cell that is multiplied into a bigger group of cells. That's a bigger group of something. That's a bigger group of something. That's a bigger group of something. So you have your blood cells. Then you have a whole bunch of cells that come together and make muscle. You have muscles. You have cells that come together and make your lungs, your heart, your brain cells,
your fingernails, your skin,
everything. But within that, those are all separate systems. Your skin is a different system than your bone system, than your muscular system. So your digestive system, your immune system, your nervous system. It's all different, but it all comes down to those little small cells. So that's where it really comes down to chemistry. How are things
work together?
How are they working together? How can they fit together?
That makes me think of thinking about it like that is like the diversity in the world, right? To make it Earth. It's like we have so many different living organisms on this planet just to make it this planet.
Yep.
Like not just people, but we have plants, we have animals, you got the ocean, you got the air, you got the land, and it's all different variations within that.
And it's all dependent on each other.
It's essential. Like everything matters, right? Like you're not gonna find sand, in Antarctica or something like that in cold places. It's like those places need those things because it's essential for those places.
But then you talk about essential nutrients, those that's coming from plants that are getting heat from the sun, that are getting water.
Yeah, that's photosynthesis, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So it's deep, but and everything that you eat. This is also another point to that everyone should know. Everything that you eat contains a certain amount of energy. So your food is transferring energy. You actually are eating the energy. It's energy in that food. So once your body digests it and metabolizes it, it's just converting it into a different type of energy.
It makes me think of like indigenous people when they kill animals and then they have like ceremonies on like praising that animal before they actually like just eat it.
If you had to kill your animals to survive and eat, would you be a vegan?